You are listening to the #1 fitness, health, and entertainment podcast. This is Mind Pump.
All those things.
Now, in today's episode, we answer fitness and health questions, 4 of them, in fact. But the way we open the episode is with an introductory portion, where we talk about current events. We tell fun stories. We generally just have a lot of fun. Today's intro portion was about 45 minutes long. After that, we answered those 4 fitness questions. So what I'm going to do is give you a breakdown of today's episode. We open up by talking about drug testing.
Oh, yeah.
And how we tried to get away with drug testing back in the day. Then we talk about Adam's charitable giving and politically correct terms. We talk about the man who married his sex doll. I guess the courtship was over, right? They dated for a while?
Yeah, they made it official.
Then we talked about an interesting article talking about how the Red Cross tested some blood samples from 2019 that showed that COVID was here much earlier.
Dun, dun, dun.
Then we talk about Justin's new media commercials he's doing on Mind Pump Media's Instagram page. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin is hilarious, and you're going to watch that.
Please go check it out. Let me know.
And check it out. Then I talk about how grass-fed meat has twice as much CLA as grain-fed meat. Now, why is that important? CLA helps burn body fat and build muscle. In fact, bodybuilders have been supplementing it for it a long time. Easy for me to say.
Yeah.
But instead of supplementing with CLA, all you have to do is eat grass-fed meat, and you'll get plenty of it.
CLA all day.
CLA. One of our favorite sources of grass-fed meat is ButcherBox. They actually deliver it to your door, and because you listen to Mind Pump, you get a massive discount and hookup. Here's what you do. Go to butcherbox.com/mindpump. Use the code MindPump, and you'll get bacon for life.
Oh, my God.
That's going on until the 22nd of December. So go get your bacon for life. It's pretty good. Then I talk about why humans sleep so good when it's cool, probably because we evolved sleeping in caves. By the way, if you'd like to cool your bed down, try the Chili Pad or the Ooler. This is a water-cooled mat that goes over your mattress, allows you to control the temperature of your bed. There's 2 sides to it, by the way, so if your wife or husband likes a different temperature, that's totally fine. They can do what they want.
No harmful EMFs.
And you do what you want. Exactly. It's water cooled, no EMFs. It's amazing. It really has impacted my sleep in a positive way. And again, because you listen to Mind Pump, you get a discount. Here's what you do. Go to chilitechnology.com/mindpump. And we have some discounts. Chili 22 can get you a big discount on the Chili Pad. And that will be ending very soon. That's a Cyber Monday deal. It looks like it's being extended. Then I talk about the new vaccine cards that the Defense Ministry, I don't know what the actual name is, but the Defense Department, there you go, is saying that we might all have to carry around soon. It's kind of looking like 1984.
Cool. Let's start trading cards.
Interesting. And then we talk about Snoop Dogg starting a fight club. Then we got into answering the fitness questions. Here's the first one. This person wants to know what some of the craziest fitness myths are that we've ever heard. The next question, this person wants to know how aging affects the metabolism and weight gain. The third question, this person's struggling with pain in their toes and arches, wants to know if there's anything they can do. And the fourth question, this person wants to know if the at-home digital fitness space is getting crowded. Also, you know, here at Mind Pump, one thing that we like to do to help people is we like to design workout programs. In fact, Adam, Justin, and myself have been personal trainers for over 2 decades. We put together some of the most effective workout programs you'll find anywhere. And what we've done is we've designed different programs for different types of people, different goals, whether it's fat loss, muscle building, whether you're a beginner, advanced, whether you have access to a lot of equipment or you have almost no equipment. We have programs that suit most people. All of our programs are designed to be extremely effective. These are designed by real trainers. It's not your celebrity fake trainer stuff that you find out there.
No fitness actors.
This is stuff that actually works. So here's what you got to do. Go to mapsfitnessproducts.com. Check out all the workouts. Check out the programs. See which one suits your body best. Sign up for that program. Try it out for 30 days. If it doesn't work, get a full refund. By the way, almost nobody gets a refund because our programs are amazing. Again, you can find all of those at mapsfitnessproducts.com.
Katrina was listening to the episode, one of the recent episodes, said that I was wrong, so I'm going to correct myself. Remember when we were talking about the milk production thing and the beer? It's not the wheat in the beer; it's the yeast in the beer that kicks up the production.
Oh.
So I just want to get that straight before all the moms.
So I wonder if you could do gluten-free beer.
My DMs full of moms.
Well, hold on. Maybe we could do gluten-free beer because is gluten-free beer made with yeast, Doug?
I would think so.
Oh shit.
Maybe
There's a whole market there.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. All right, honey.
Yeah.
I'll be bringing you some brew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's
But
only a few of those out there.
Aren't you supposed to, when you drink, what's it called, pump and dump?
Yeah, you pump and dump.
Why? Because it gets in the milk, right?
Right. They have
Well, what if you want the baby to sleep?
Well, then
I'm just saying.
I mean, that's a move.
You're just a bad mom. That's all.
Put the whiskey in their teeth.
You can't do that with cannabis, by the way, pump and dump, because it's fat soluble. It'll stay in your breast milk for a little while.
Yeah, it stays in your system for like 30 days, right? Something like that.
Yeah, so if, your kids all chill.
But there's also, so I've heard of doctors.
Okay.
I've actually heard of doctors though recommending to women smoking weed if they're like addicted to cigarettes, and saying like if you're going to smoke every day, you can't kick the habit of smoking. They prefer them smoking marijuana than smoking.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's an interesting strategy.
Well, think about that. As a doctor, what do you tell somebody? You got somebody who's a pack a day a cigarette smoker. There's lots of people out there that exist like that. They get fucking pregnant. You think they all just cut cold turkey?
I know, dude.
I doubt it.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
hard to give any advice to somebody like that.
Yeah.
You imagine, though, being that doctor? Listen,
You're
Mrs.
like,
Johnson, you're pregnant.
How do I start?
Quit cigarettes. Let's go to joints.
Yeah.
Let's go with that because that's not as bad.
Yeah.
I hope.
Well,
we don't-
so is it true, like, when they take a hair sample, they get a lot, like, they can go a lot further back?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why
That
if
used
you're.
to scare me when I
why
was
I'm
like in
safe.
jobs.
That's how we get. We never. Adam's cool.
I'm safe.
We can't tell with Adam.
We hear he smokes a lot of weed. We can't
get
prove
that
it.
from your-
Can't prove it.
We
From
can
your
get-
beard
I think
hair?
they can get it from your beard hair.
Really?
Yeah.
or the nether regions.
It's a hair,
Yeah.
right? Can't you?
Sample it.
That makes sense.
Let's find out.
That
I
on
don't
your-
know.
Yeah.
I think so. But I actually have a buddy who worked at a job, and they were going to do the drug testing, and he was a pot smoker, right? So he quit smoking for however long it takes before it gets out of your urine, because he thought it was going to be a urine test.
It's like
What do
30
they call
days.
it? Gold seal or whatever. Like, I remember, like, so I was like hyper paranoid of this because I was working for my dad at the time, and and I knew at some point he knew the kind of crowd I ran around with, but I didn't even like really smoke, but like maybe 4 times a year. Because I would just I was doing the whole like smoke and puff but not inhale kind of a thing.
You saw that
Shut
guy.
up.
I was that guy for a while.
He
dude.
totally is that guy.
Yeah, and
Is this when you were doing heroin?
yeah.
Okay.
That was the I just didn't want to get caught for pot. So yeah, so then he sprung a surprise test on me.
Your dad did?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
through the company.
You've never told me
Your
this.
dad tried to use the company as an excuse.
Exactly.
Hey, son, you work for me now.
I didn't even know you worked for your dad. What were you guys doing?
Yeah, I worked a couple summers, maybe like 3 summers. I worked for him at this window company, and I would unload trucks, and then I would go out with the service guys to go to these mansions and basically reglaze the windows.
When was this?
This was when I was in high school.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All the stories you've told, I don't think you've ever told that story.
yeah, I don't think I have.
I think
but
you know
Was it-
somebody, right?
I know, right? I
wonder how much stuff he
you've been,
hides.
I know. You've been washing
Shit, you guys
windows for
talk
years.
so much, it helps to ask questions.
Hey,
Hold on. Wait. Adam's about to ask a question. I want to hear your story about the drug test.
Yeah, so I was like, whoa, like I don't know. I had this sense that like I don't know why. I think he started to kind of like mention that like add seeds, like, oh, this is the company policy, and we're kind of rolling this out, and and I'm like, when is this going to happen? And then he just like all of a sudden sprung it on me one day, and so I had to go to this this facility and like do a whole pee test and all that, and I was fucking sweating bullets.
yeah, how nervous were you?
Oh, so I was chugging water, on my way over there, like crazy.
Well, how long had it been since you smoked weed?
It had been months.
Oh, okay. So you were,
I didn't know anything.
and
though,
you
dude.
probably. Oh no, of course. No, I remember when that would happen, and like we were all in high school, and we had like half our friends smoked weed, the other half didn't, right?
Yeah.
And the guys that had to work for like companies like a CVS store or something like that had like regular drug testing type shit, they would, and I don't even know if CVS does it, I just made that up. They would freak out because of contact. You know, like we were all at a house party together, and there was hella weed.
Or they ate like a poppy seed muffin.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah.
I think I'd take heroin.
Oh, brother.
You're like, oh my god.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
no, it gets because then you would drink stuff like what was it called Gold Seal
Yeah, Gold Seal. I think that was
to help
the brand.
I don't even know if it works, but I had a buddy who he thought it was gonna be a urine test. Turned out it was gonna be a hair test, so he shaved his head.
No, he didn't.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I don't have any hair.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we do another form?
They also sell. It's funny. I'm just thinking right now. A brand new listener right now is like, I thought this was a fitness podcast. What's going on here? Listen, we talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we got to cover the bases.
No, you. I forgot where I was going to go with this. Anyway.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that happened to me.
I have something because you interrupted me about the windows. So I'm terrible when it comes to this, right? And this obviously goes back to childhood stuff. When you guys make fun of me like with the horse thing, right? So I have another funny thing you could pick on me about.
Okay.
So.
I can't wait.
Not only do I talk about like when my childhood, like we didn't have a lot of money, but yet we owned horses, right? So we also, gave hundreds and hundreds of dollars all the time to, bums on the street all the time.
Wow.
That was a very common thing.
I don't know if that's politically correct.
I don't give a shit. Whatever, fucking homeless,
Those
whatever,
hobos.
whatever.
Yeah.
Bums.
Bums and hobos.
So it was a very regular thing for our family to do that. My dad, my stepdad, and my mom get their check, and we go give a quarter of it we give a tenth of it to the church, and then a quarter of it to the bums, and then our PG&E goes out. So that was like a common practice. So you can imagine, as I've gotten older, I'm obviously a little resistant to that. You've been in the car with me before, where I've given you shit about that.
Yeah.
So I'm bad with that. But okay, so this guy is in our parking lot all the time. Okay, this homeless guy, is that the politically correct term?
Yeah,
this homeless guy is in our parking lot all the time, and he's always hitting me up for cash, and I don't have cash, which is true. I really have cash on me. But this last time, he's now washing windows for $1, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. The Benz has got hella dirty windows right now, and I pull up and he says this to me, and I go, hold on, let me see. And I only have a 10 in there. Fuck it, I'm gonna give this guy a 10, right? So I said, I don't have $1, but I have $10, man. I said, Merry Christmas, and I hand him $10. And he's like, oh my God, thank you so much. He's like, I'm gonna do all the windows. I'm like, rad, cool. So I go in here in the studio, and I come out to look at the car, and it looks like he cleaned my windows with dirt.
Oh,
It's like smeared every.
Just kind of moved it around.
Yeah, I think
no.
I know.
Did you get a refund?
No, I didn't get a refund.
Could you imagine? Give me my money back. That was a shitty job.
I don't know, but I was feeling all good about myself. I'm like, oh, I'm doing something good here. And the guys, and I felt good because he's doing work. This is what I appreciate that. And that's really what sparked it. Forget the holidays and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
It really was. He was offering to do something, and I appreciate that. I appreciate it's not just, hey, can I have money? It's like, hey, could I provide something?
Or do something of service.
Arthur Brooks said this.
For sure.
He talked about this. He said he's a social scientist, and he says one of the best things you can do for somebody when you help them is ask them for something in return, because it gives them a sense of dignity.
Yeah, I love
so
that.
his example was that if you give money to a homeless person,
ask them to pray for them.
Ask them to pray for you, because
Right.
then it makes them feel that it gives them a sense
Purpose.
of dignity.
Yeah.
And I love that. I totally love that.
Yeah.
Although one time I bought a tray of food for a homeless guy, and it had a sandwich, it had milk, apple, and a brownie, and I gave it to the guy, and then right in front of me, he took the brownie and threw everything else away.
Yeah.
I was furious.
Oh.
I was really mad.
Dude, I've had somebody do that where they've refused food from me. Like they just wanted cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
I've had that. I've had ones where
now you just pissed me off.
Fast food drive-in, and I get like I'll have no cheese, light lettuce, like no mustard, like order like whoa, bro. Yeah, I could have just got you a burger.
what else?
Yeah, I know. No, it is interesting, but no, it does help with give the sense of dignity.
there's pickles in it?
Yeah, I really appreciate that he said that. I mean, all joking aside, it's who was it that we were talking to about the epidemic? Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew is an expert on the homeless epidemic, and he said, what statistic did he say? It was something like 80-something% severe mental illness.
Yeah.
Was it that high? I thought it was like half.
No,
It was higher.
it was very high.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's like, you can't. He's like, they need medical help. You
Yeah,
can't
they need
help.
medical help and intervention. It's like there's no facilities left to really help and treat the mental health aspect that's out there. And I'm pretty passionate about that. Like I just don't see any movement in that direction. I just see a lot of, I guess, we're just going to deal with it as it is.
So
nobody's done anything.
No, you really
So
want to
that-
help. You have to provide that help.
Okay, so that's okay. So if that's true, then what does that say about us if we're giving them money?
Well, here's the deal.
It's enabling.
Sure.
Right. Well, right. So dive into that a little bit, okay? If you know that, okay, I know that stat's real true, right? Yeah. And we know that giving them money isn't really helping the root cause of what's going on. Is that really more selfish than it is selfless?
What do you mean?
I mean, you're to do an act like that,
like for your own ego.
You're right. Give. So we know that, and most people listening probably know this too. That
I did something good today.
Right. Yeah. It's a mental health issue. You know that just handing them $100 bill may help them get food or alcohol or whatever they're going to use it for that day, and you're not really helping the root cause. Are you truly helping them? And is it really a selfless thing that you're doing, or is it more to feed your own ego?
I think it depends on the case. I think some people are genuine, right? And sure, you might actually help feed that person for the day. I don't want to discourage anybody helping anybody, but I do think it's important to look at it from a public policy standpoint. Public policy-wise, then it is wise.
Yes.
If we're going to invest money, invest it in solving the root cause.
If we're going to have programs, let's address, how to really help that community.
Yeah.
But I do honestly and we sound a little bit harsh, but I usually give, it's like no stipulations attached. Like it's just something that okay, I feel, compelled. So here you go. Like I'm out. Like you do whatever. Like I'm not going to judge you with what you do with it.
Yeah. Now it's your choice.
Yeah.
And honestly, think about it this way. Like if, okay, fine, the guy buys or girl buys a drink. Or whatever, temporarily does make them feel better. And, who am I to judge, so you can kind of go down. Speaking of mental illness, by the way, did you guys see the guy that married his sex doll? Did you guys read about this guy?
Yes.
Yeah, dude, I feel like we brought this up.
We did. We brought it up when he was dating her.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm serious. We did. We brought it up when
he really escalated.
Yeah. We brought it up last year when he was first starting to date her, and that was right around the same time we were talking about is this what's going to happen?
What's funny about
just
this?
Courting.
Yeah, this is what's funny about this, that he actually dated her. To wait to see if he wanted to get married.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I want to commit myself.
Gotta respect that.
If I want to commit myself to the sex doll.
That's responsible, I think.
What are you talking about? How does he divorce her?
I don't know.
Throws her in the garbage. Buys a new one. Goodbye.
Sounds very responsible.
Dude, okay, this is a big problem.
There's got to be room for upgrades.
Exactly. This is a big problem in the future. Nobody's really talking about this, but everybody talks about AI is going to kill humans.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's a pandemic. Oh, what about economic collapse?
That's not what I worry about.
Here's what this is a real threat.
We're never going to leave our house. We're just be fucking dolls all the time. That's really what would happen.
If sex dolls become realistic,
which by the way,
we're all dead.
Which by the way, it will go there first. Most of the money, most of the tech, because we'll go there.
That's how we're going to innovate like crazy.
No,
marketing. They all watch what porn does. They lead that whole.
Yes,
dude. Listen. If a sex robot is pretty damn close to a human, do you know how fucked we'll be? I mean, not literally, but figuratively, we'll be totally screwed.
All of it. Yeah.
Totally screwed. You know how many people?
Now, I don't know. Will we though? Or will it help a lot of people?
Well, how's it going to start too?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, come
Are you
on.
trying to set us up for a future sponsorship? Maybe it's good for health. Sal.
Possibly, Sal. Possibly. This could be. I mean, imagine the guy who's just he's crippled with anxiety at home and has no relations whatsoever, and her
exactly. I was just thinking about that. Even if it's just audio,
right?
But now I see it because think of technology in stages, right? So I anticipate. So he just married a doll, like a physical thing.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's going to be this app or whatever adaptive thing where he can listen and it's some AI voice, because that's easier for them to engineer right now.
Right. I don't. Okay. So
that's attached to her, and then they get all weird.
You're talking about the fringes. The dude that's got mental illness or issues and he's stuck at home and whatever. I get that, okay, but it's going to penetrate mainstream.
I know, but what if it trades off? Okay, so it sucks in a couple kids that were normal and now they're stuck in their rooms all day humping these dolls. But then it helps 20% of depression out there.
No, you ain't going to solve depression by fucking a robot.
Hey, you don't know that till we have it.
If you're in a terrible relationship,
come on,
like Brandy.
Don't knock it till you try it,
bro. You ain't going to get a sense of meaning in your life by banging a robot.
I'm not going to get
unless if they program it right. Well, that's too easy. Make it a little difficult.
I'm not going to get into a religious debate on what I think it's morally right or wrong with it. But I mean, what if it does? How many people out there are riddled with that anxiety, depression, stuck in their homes, don't socialize, don't interact? You know, are
Call them relaxation robots.
maybe?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Welcome to release.com.
I don't know. Again, it plays into where I think we're going, which is this society that is half plugged in, half disconnected. I mean, to me, we're just. Oh, that reminds me. Did you guys see which one are you with the kids with the Roblox?
Yeah,
both of them.
But yeah,
Both you
my
guys
kids.
have kids.
Oh,
Right?
you talking about the concerts and shit?
Yes, that's like the new big thing, right? Is
I know.
It's like an all immersive experience, dude.
Well-
That's why they're so sucked into it.
Well, think about it.
exactly.
If you have an audience of, hundreds of millions of kids who are growing up and you want to market to them, why not put a marketing in their video games? That's the next frontier, right?
Sure.
So they're putting live concerts.
Well, this isn't new. It's just that it's taking off because like the pool's much bigger. Like when you get the kids won over, like you have a whole new thing. Like World of Warcraft's been doing this for a long time. Like they sell things within the video game, and like people like have stores and things that they pop up.
So I don't know a lot about it, so maybe you guys can help me out. But what I envisioned right away when I read this article was thinking like, oh my God, how crazy is this? And I think I forget the rappers. I'm terrible with these new rappers, but there was like two big rappers.
Probably something like 2 Pump or
Yeah, two pump chump.
47 cents. We sound like old guys.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Tweety Bird.
what I envisioned, and I think they had like, I want to say 50,000 or 100,000 people attend or whatever like that. You have 50,000 of these kids in there that are interacting, and I imagine they all have avatars and characters that represent themselves, right?
Yeah.
And so they can interact and chat and talk. And I would think, imagine being able to do this because you're an underage kid, and that you would totally buy into this, being able to buy drinks for each other and flirt and talk and meet and network like that. And that in the app is that, you met Sherry and she's across, in Florida and you're over here in California and
You're just majestic shredded dragon.
Sounds like a pedophile playground if you ask me. That's what I'd say.
of course, there's always going to be that.
My name is John and I'm only 6.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. You talk about this all the time with going back in history. I mean, I'm sure everybody thought about that when the first playgrounds came around. And all of a sudden we put
you can see the person.
So what though?
Like you could dress up like a
you're
kid.
You're the one that says
I know you're not a
you
kid.
say this all the time, so you cannot be the person to say that. Like
What?
you're the one who talks about like that's how we were with newspapers, and that's how we were with radio, and that's how we were with television. Like, are we just acting that way? That this is great.
All I know is this, okay? When we have robot fuck dolls, the weirdest human depravities that you can imagine are going to come out and acts. You're going to get like, think about this. If you have brothels with robot sex dolls, they could have any fantasy.
They already have those.
Yeah, no. I mean,
New York.
like robot ones that like talk to you. They can have real like, would you like room number 1 where you get to murder her right afterwards, or room number 3 where it's oh my God, you don't even want to know.
There'll be rules.
Why would there be rules?
There's always rules, dude. And then there'll be
they'll say don't break the robot.
And then there'll be underground stuff. Yeah, you can't murder the robot. Stop it.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
It's not a human. You could pretend to kill it.
Well, then it would cost you more than the robot cost to build, which is going to be a lot of money.
Oh, I mean, you can't break the robot, but you can
Robots
murder
are
it.
going to have
How do you
rights.
murder a robot and not break it?
It acts, I can't breathe.
Ouch.
I mean, how's that different? How's that any different than the video games these kids are playing where they shoot a virtual character and they die?
Why are you acting so violent to me?
I mean,
Choke me harder.
I don't know. I just think that it sounds
Turn my gears.
so foreign to us and scary to us.
It's so scary.
It is.
It's so scary.
But then that's just
Plus, by the time these robot sex
weird,
dolls
dude.
come around, dude, we'll all be in our 80s.
Yeah.
You're gonna have one.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, Adam. You're gonna be 80 years old and may hopefully retired and successful. A lot of money.
Everything is escalating way too fast. Everything is getting weirder and weirder.
So
and
are
weirder
you guys
every day.
now? Are you guys watching any of this stuff with your kids on the robot? I'm not very from other than the articles I read. I don't even know how the game works.
There's ways to actually like put firewalls around it so they don't have this all immersive experience, which is something that we've looked into quite extensively.
Yeah.
Because with kids being kids, like of course, like that's going to be like a massive appeal to them. Like, oh yeah, let's go check all this crazy stuff out. But it opens them up, to conversations with who the hell knows. And
Dude,
I don't like that.
I know. I was talking to my buddy. He's got twins that are 1.5 years old, and we were talking about all this. I'm like, man, it's a weird world because I don't know. There's no playbook. Yeah. It's all so fast and changing and so different.
Yeah, but don't you guys feel like the kids that are coming up? Like, for example, do you remember when you first heard what a catfish was? I mean, I didn't know what it was, and for a long time, kids younger than me knew what that was.
Yeah.
So they're getting educated on that, whether it's you educating them or not, in other ways of what to be careful for.
Yeah, but
we as old people, as parents, we look at it and go like, "Oh my God, it's so freaky." But in that, there's enough kids that have probably been screwed over by catfishing and stuff like that they talk to each other.
Yeah. I mean, I get that, but what I'm saying is, as a parent, to be prepared to talk to your kids about certain things, it's changing so fast now. Like the way I grew up was definitely different than my dad's generation, but it wasn't so radically different. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't so crazy different that he couldn't, talk me through certain things. Yeah. It's so different now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I highly suggest this. I actually have been trying to really get better at, really going through that. Like, so I'll play with them every now, but I just want to know.
That's just what you tell Courtney.
Yeah, it is.
What are you doing over there? I'm trying to figure it out for the kids.
I'm going to get you. Yeah. I just bought a cool bazooka. Yeah. No, seriously though. Like, I think that for me to be able to see potential things that I'm like, I want to know where this could potentially go and like what I need to look out for. And I know that yes, they kind of know that whole landscape and environment and all that, but they're not looking at it from a predatory perspective, which is something that I'm always considering. Even when we're walking down the streets, I'm looking around.
Just
for
scare the shit out of them.
Potential fucking furriers and whoever else is around the corner.
Hey,
you know
kids,
what I mean?
there are adults that want to kill you or bang you.
Yes,
everywhere.
They're
everywhere
all over the
you
place.
look.
They're hiding.
Just scare the shit out of you.
Yeah, I don't want to tell them all that. That's too much.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, actually, I was having this conversation with my kid, and we were talking about like prevalence of kidnapping and stuff, and I'm like, it's dropped considerably. It was way more dangerous when I was a kid.
Right.
And he goes, "Is that because kids are not out as much?" Like, that's a good point. It's probably harder to pick off kids nowadays
100%
than it was back in the day when we were outside playing all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Without cell phones. I'm sure it's easy to kidnap someone compared to now.
I can't believe I walked home for miles.
Oh, I know.
Like you could never do that.
Yeah,
now.
exactly. But now, like, if you're a kidnapper driving around, you're like, man, there's no kids outside. You know what I mean? I can't find anybody.
Got to go to these concerts.
Yeah, you got to go back to Roblox and do that thing. Anyway, did you guys read the article on COVID from the discovery from the Red Cross? Did you guys read about this?
No.
No, I was still like tripping on the Johns Hopkins.
Was that
study.
the one that said the death toll or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's this one?
So this is trippy.
This is saying that we had it before, right?
Way before. So the Red Cross took blood samples that were taken.
Dude, I knew it.
In early December. So I think this was like December. I want to say I shared the article with you guys. Of course, you guys didn't read it. You never read anything I sent.
Yeah. Most of it's boring.
Well, how can you really trace it down?
Send something interesting and then I'll read it.
Gosh. Okay. So they tested all these blood samples, and they were in early to mid-December. I'm trying to get the exact date here. In 2019. So December 2019. And they found people with COVID antibodies. Now, remember, these samples were taken, I think the 12th and 13th of December. Yeah, okay, here we go. The blood samples were collected between December 13th and January 17th. And they found antibodies in a lot of these blood samples. Now, antibodies take a week or two to build.
Yeah, but
let me ask you a question in terms of COVID specifically, because there's multiple versions of it.
COVID-19.
Right? Yeah, but then so that was specifically COVID-19
Yes, it was.
antibodies.
And
Yes.
do you have to have had COVID-19 to build antibodies?
Correct.
Could you have not? Okay, so
No.
it's not
so,
possible.
and it takes a week or two to get these antibodies, meaning if you go in on December 13th, which was the earliest sample that they found, December 13th, and you have antibodies, that means at least a week earlier, at least what you would have had COVID, if not way before that.
Wow.
So, and there were 39 samples that tested
imagine
positive.
how that just
39
spread.
out of how many?
1,000 something. But the earliest ones came from guess where?
California.
California,
Knew it.
Oregon, and Washington.
Well, think about where's the closest to travel and fly. Like a lot of times you'll take flights from California over to Asia.
A lot of Chinese people back and forth between California and China. So here's the thing now. I'm telling you, people, December, January, February, and March in this area, I knew more people that got strangely very ill that did not have the flu than I can remember.
So so that's what I want to know, because I'm still, even though I went and tested.
I feel like we didn't need to do another test, dude.
I know. I was so convinced that thing that hit my group of friends and all of us.
It hit you guys first.
It hit all of us. Like there was a house of 8 of us. So this is back in December.
It was.
It was December of last year, and it was like nothing I have had.
Was it one of your friends Chinese?
No, she's
Okay.
Hmong.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. So,
But she wasn't even there.
Yeah, and she wasn't traveling to China
Okay.
either, so that has nothing to do with it.
Sorry.
Just a racist comment.
I was trying to make it more like connected.
And that's my new
Totally.
thing now. I'm just gonna call you
Yeah.
racist whenever I possibly
Yeah.
can. I feel like
All
that's a popular thing to do now.
Yeah, if you do it, it just
I can't believe it, but going back to bum, I can't say bum.
No, you can't.
What the fuck? You can't say anything
No, you
anymore.
can't say bum. You can't say hobo.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though, like hobo, like interestingly enough, was a way that they would travel to go do work, right?
Yeah.
On railroads.
Yeah. So
That's where that comes from?
Yeah.
School me on that. I never heard that. What's
Yeah.
that? What's that mean?
Yeah. So they would have like, I don't know if it's
Is it
immigrant workers,
is it an
but
acronym? Does it stand for something?
probably.
Look it up, Doug.
I don't know what that
Please.
is, but they would have like the sack of their, their supplies, and they would like hop these railroads, and then they would land in like farms, and they'd do work, and then they'd go back, and they basically live like
it's a hobo is a migrant worker or homeless vagrant, especially one who is impoverished. The term originating in the western, possibly northwestern United States around 1890. Unlike a tramp who works only when forced to, and a bum who does not work at all, a hobo
that's
is
what a tramp is.
So, and a bum is so okay. The guy that I met was not a bum because he worked for the money,
So he was a hobo.
but he didn't travel.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
I mean, he traveled.
he
at the parking
provided
lot.
a service.
All
though.
right.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Anyway.
so bum is not a politically incorrect term. It's just
No, it is. It's still politically incorrect.
Why?
I don't know who
people
makes this
just
up.
don't like it.
Yeah, you can't say certain words anymore.
Oh, that's how we do this. So this is what you two agree on now. When
No.
people don't
No,
like,
I'm not-
people don't like a word, we
I'll
just get rid of it.
I'm
guar-
not censoring you.
I'll guarantee you right now you'll get several DMs from people.
I always do, so I'm not worried about that.
All right. So anyway, tell me about the COVID thing you were saying. So you guys got it. It went through you guys.
so it
like-
went through. I mean, so Justin, Jared, their daughter, Justin's son, Janet, me. I think Katrina was like the only one who didn't get it. So like 7 of us, and it wrecked me for like 2 weeks. And even after the 2 weeks was up, I still didn't feel good for almost a month. And I can't remember and we had all the symptoms.
And didn't you say a couple of them got tested for the flu and that was negative?
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, and it was for the flu they were getting.
Yeah.
tested.
And then remember,
But now, okay, so but
Anybody
okay,
lose
how
their
long is that?
senses?
So only 2 weeks.
But here's the thing, though, and this is why I guess we didn't have it because okay, maybe my test is wrong, but my buddy's wife Janet, who's the nurse, she's already been retested, doesn't have the antibodies. My other buddy, who's the principal, he's been tested and doesn't have the antibodies. So we've all been tested.
maybe you guys got COVID-18.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah.
It was the first round.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I felt like
bird flu.
I felt like we had it. Remember we did that event that
Yeah.
that I said probably not a good idea because we might get sick, and which we did. And then I got hella sick, and Jessica and I she would cough so hard she threw up.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nasty.
Yeah, it was-
all the symptoms.
It was bad. I mean, to me, that's so.
That sucks if it wasn't COVID. What a waste.
yeah.
At least I could have.
I was fine that whole time. Just to put that in there.
Yeah, you do have a pretty
that's fine.
pretty strong immune
Yeah.
system apparently.
I think I just stayed dirty. And I built up a lot of tolerance against viruses and bacteria.
non-shower.
All of
I
his-
just live with bacteria. We're one.
all his STDs just they counter
it
any
counters
virus.
everything.
Hey,
Exactly.
I have to give you credit where credit's due here, man. Boy, your Juve commercial, man, that was
Oh yeah.
really
Oh, awesome. Thanks. man.
the audience doesn't know this. But
Go to
we-
the Mind Pump Media Instagram page.
Yeah, we don't get to see these. Like, so this is a.
Mr. Golaby, have a seat. If you could tell me exactly what happened in Bunkerville, Nevada, all those nights, then go ahead and speak up into the recording device, please. Oh man, where do I begin? I mean, the first night, it was just like any other night. I was sleeping in my bed. This red light blasts its way through, springs me out of bed. I mean, this was a powerful light. I jumped out of bed. I opened the door. Nobody there. I got up. I started to get scared. And I knew this red light meant something. And you continued to visit this red light almost every night, am I correct? Yes, every single night, 2:23 a.m. on the dot. I didn't have a choice. It was like I was going mental. When exactly did you notice the changes? Well, it was the first couple weeks that I started to notice these subtle changes. The first was my energy. I just had this energy out of nowhere. Like, I was ready to get up and go. I was finally in a good mood again. I was looking in the mirror one day, and this is a couple weeks later, and I was combing my hair, and I just realized, whoa! This isn't my hair. This was way more hair than I've ever had. It was crazy. It was like overnight, my hair just blossomed into what you see here. So what convinced you it was aliens? I was visited one of those nights by two little gray guys. And they told me, for better results, I should do this without any clothes on. I didn't know what to think. First, do I trust them? But knowing what's been happening in my body, I decided to give it a go. Yeah, I'm gonna give this a go and take that red light in. And I did. And I was just confused because one of the aliens told me to take this flashlight and insert it. Whoa. Okay, I think we have all we need from you here, Mr. Gullaby. Thank you for coming in. Hey, what?
Some projects that Justin's been working on, right? So one of the things we're trying to evolve the media side of the business and creating these like really high level commercials. This is the beginning of it, right? So I don't expect much, but every time Justin seems to over deliver, and that the Magic Spoon one now and now the Juve one has just been fire.
That's right. Yeah, I'm trying my best to try and to outdo the previous one, and that's sort of like the goal with that. But yeah, it's so much fun, dude. It's funny because now it's like I can scratch my own itch with wearing wigs and costumes, and you guys make fun of me, so I like go off on my own and I do that myself in my safe space.
Yeah,
and then I come back and I present it to you guys. So I'm glad that the end result at least is acceptable.
It's good stuff.
Yeah,
I enjoy it. Hey, there's I wanted to bring this up, so I just read this the other day. So back in the day, do you guys remember the supplement CLA? Did they sell that at 24?
Yes.
Okay.
It was part of the Ergogen.
I think so.
Ergogen was the brand, right? The Ergogen stack.
So CLA is a fatty acid called conjugated, I think it's conjugated linoleic acid, if I'm not, conjugated linoleic acid. So this is a fatty acid that when you switch out other fatty acids in your diet, replace it with CLA, people get leaner and they build more muscle. So this was a bodybuilding supplement for a long time. It was really popular in the 90s, early 2000s. Still, you can buy it today.
Is the theory that it actually suppresses appetite? I can't remember what.
No, it's got thermogenic effect. So
I thought it was actually an appetite suppressant.
That's not what I've read. I've read that it actually encourages fat burning, and then it has this muscle preserving or muscle building effect. So bodybuilders would take it in the past as a supplement. Well, anyhow, grass-fed meat, twice as much CLA, because beef has CLA in it. Grass-fed meat, twice as much as grain-fed meat.
Oh, interesting.
It does. So it's not a ton of CLA, but if you're like me and you eat meat all the time, I eat red meat every day, once or twice a day.
Speaking of grass-fed beef, one of the things that you have to know if you're somebody who's like first getting introduced to like eating grass-fed beef, aside from it's normally a little more expensive, is that it's leaner. And so it does.
Yes.
And so if you go into it thinking like you've had the best steak ever from like wherever, Ruth Chris or your favorite place, and then you go and try and compare a grass-fed steak to taste better because it's just not going to beat it. So I'm always looking for ways to eat healthier, but then still make it taste as amazing.
Yeah.
The Instapot, we did
Instapot's amazing.
I did the tri-tip. I did the grass-fed tri-tip and the Instapot. Not only does it cook it like super fast, but what I like about the Instapot too is like we can put it on, and it's very similar to like cooking like the sous vide, where you can put it at a temperature and then leave it like all day. So we'll put it in the Instapot, set it at the temperature that we want it cooked, go about our thing, and dude, you could cut it with a fork.
Yeah.
Dude, see, that's interesting because, like, I know with like you'd mentioned, it's a bit leaner cut. It's a bit, it's like a bit tough, but the way that you cook it makes all the difference. And I was thinking more of like a smoker, like a slow cook approach too, which is another, way I want to. That was something I'm looking at purchasing to start really like barbecuing like crazy.
That's Doug does it that way all the time.
Yeah, the tri-tips from Butcher Box are pretty good. They're really, really good. So here's what I do. I salt the shit out of them on both sides. Then I go olive oil, rosemary, garlic powder. Then I get an iron skillet, and I get it real hot, put a little olive oil in the iron skillet, and I brown both sides.
Both sides to keep the juices in.
Then I put the whole thing in the oven at 375, and I have a meat thermometer. Yeah. So as soon as the inside hits about 130.
That's like a foolproof way to get it cooked perfect.
Oh, and then when you I let it sit, and then you slice it in the nice seasoning on the outside and the meat.
So
really
is that technically the right order, Doug? Because I will do the Instapot and then I sear afterwards.
Oh, I'm not using this. That's with the oven.
I know. So, but am I doing that wrong?
I think both ways would work.
Okay.
But you have to pick one right now. Which one's better?
It's like every time I get in a line and you guys are like, hey, Justin over here.
I would follow your method for doing the oven method, but I would go that way with the Instapot.
Oh, it's so politically correct.
No, I would. I'm not trying to be politically correct. That's just how I would do it.
Yeah,
okay.
For example, if I would use the sous vide, I would sous vide it first, and then I would sear it at the end.
Okay, so that's how I did it with sous vide also. So that's why.
That makes sense, because if you sear it and then sous vide it might ruin the sear, right? Wouldn't it kind of?
Yeah. It would get all soft.
It would get all soft in there.
Yeah.
You want hard meat.
Yeah, you want hard
on the outside.
I mean,
it's good.
Wow.
Yeah. Speaking of our sponsors, I was looking up.
Wow, good transition.
Right.
I was wondering how
get us out of there.
I was going to wonder how you could get out of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I looked at
hard meat. Speaking of that, let me talk about one of my sponsors.
Well, hold on a second. So I looked up stuff on sleep. Like we know all the things that impact sleep and how to improve your sleep. We've talked about it on the show many times. But I want to know what were the most important things. Like what are the most important factors that will impact your sleep? You guys want to take any guesses?
Matching your circadian rhythms.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty important. But what do you mean, like not?
Just like going to bed. Yeah, like closer to when the sun goes down.
So
I know what my personal one is. It's temperature.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's what the studies say.
Oh, okay. So,
studies say the most important thing is a cool room.
Yeah.
So I did a little more research. Here's the theory behind it, right? So we obviously evolved as hunter-gatherers, whatever. They said essentially what you're doing is you're recreating the fact that you're sleeping in a cave at night. So cool.
Because it's cool.
Yes, dark in a cave. So makes kind of sense, right?
Yeah. No.
65 degrees was the temperature that they said most people sleep best at.
55.
Yeah.
But think about that though. 65. Most people do not like. Or most husbands don't get allowed to get their thing down. So I have to fight for 66 right now. So like it's
our house is 60.
So ours.
No, it's not.
It is, dude. At night we cut it down. It's like 65. 60? It's 65, maybe 67. Like if we want it, like if it's really cold outside, we're kind of making up for that. But then we turn it down to 60 right before we go to bed.
So you guys do that?
Yeah.
Oh wow. So
man, your kids must be like.
Oh, I know downstairs too. It's so cold. It's like an ice box. I'm trying to Wim Hof them.
Your poor kids.
Yeah, that's the part that sucks about my house too. So mine's this 3 levels, right? The bottom level is like cold. See your breath cold, but then you get all the way upstairs, it's like 68.
Yeah.
So it's like it's tough to try and keep and that's where all the bedrooms are.
Yeah. So. Well, now we have the baby, so it's everything's about the baby. So the house is 70, 71.
So what I did, and you could do the same thing. I actually stole one of our portable heaters here, and we regulate his room. So we had, on the Nanit, it has a temperature. So we manage his room with that heater, and then I keep the rest of the house cold.
He's sleeping in the same room right now, though. He's so young. You know what we do? We put him in this little. I call it the Noah. Not Noah. The what's his name? Moses. Moses bed.
Oh, it's
why do I know
DockAtot.
Yeah.
Is it what?
A Docatot. That's
Why do you know all the names of shit?
Huh?
Is that the designer
He's
one?
a brand guy.
Yeah, it's totally
He's a
right.
Brand snob.
Anyway, it looks like I call it the Moses bed because it's like the bed that Moses was put in when you set down the river.
Yeah, like a wreath basket. Or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, we put him in there in the bed, so he's in our bed with us.
that was one of the best investments we got was the Docatot.
Oh, there it is, right there.
It is, yeah.
Docatot.
Oh, the Docatot.
Yeah, it's
I like that name. It's fun.
yeah. I don't know who got that for it. Was it you? Maybe you guys got that for us.
I don't remember what we got. We got you guys a bunch of
That'd
other
be
stuff.
terrible. I probably wouldn't even know.
I
it was
spent more
me or
money
not.
on you than that, bro.
Yeah,
Come
did
on.
you get me something, Justin?
I did.
Oh my god.
Through Courtney. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's good at that stuff.
Yeah.
Does that happen to you guys when you guys go to like a birthday party or whatever, and the kid opens the gift? Thank you, and you're like, "What'd I get you?"
All the time. Yeah.
You have no idea.
Well, thank God, Katrina and I have been together for 10 years, right? So, like, all of my friends and stuff like that, I get shit all the time. Like, my best friends that we go back to childhood, like, they give me so much shit because Katrina handles, like, all scheduling, all gifts, all everything. Like, so, you know, that's the big running joke in our thread together is, like, if we all want to get together, nobody asks me. It's just like, I'm not even going to ask Adam if they can get together in 2 weeks. I'll just text Katrina.
Yeah, because you don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, same here. Actually, Doug, I'm going to send you something. I want you to pull this up on the screen. So this is what Doug's going to pull up right now is a picture of what the vaccination cards will probably look like. Yeah, so this was the Department of Defense. I like how it's the Department of the Defense. I don't understand why
we're
it's
defending the invisible enemy.
Yeah, so the Department of Defense has released the first images of a COVID-19 vaccination record card and vaccination kits Wednesday. So vaccination cards will be used as the simplest way to keep track of COVID-19 shots. So
It's weird they didn't do this for the flu. Yeah.
Or any other vaccine.
Or any other.
Yeah, so everyone will be issued a written card that they can put in their wallet that will tell them what they had. Tell them. I need a card to tell me. It's not for you. It's for other people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the card. Yeah, interesting.
Oh, well, look this up. Is there
going to be? You guys think there'll be a black market? I bet you that there'll be a black market for cards like this.
Yeah, of course.
You
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
You know what else I was thinking? I was thinking at the moment, I'm sure later this is going to change. So we have a postpartum doula, right? And so I was talking to Jessica, and we're talking about, what if we need a nanny or whatever? I was thinking about the value, at least until the vaccines are all out. I wonder, it's actually valuable if you're working for other people in the service business to have had COVID. So you could tell them, I already had
antibodies.
Yeah, I already had COVID.
Right.
last whatever. It could become now like a selling point.
Yeah, if you have like proof of that and you can have that. I mean, I could see that totally being like a selling point.
Yeah, like, we'll hire them. What about COVID? Oh, they already had COVID a month ago. They're immune, so now they can come into our house.
So I got a
How about that?
message from my buddies, like while we're talking right now. It said in 20, and this was over an hour ago, or 40 minutes ago. It said in 20 minutes, California coming out with a new mandate.
New mandate?
Yes. So what you saw in LA might be moving its way all the way up to us.
They're going to tell everybody to stay home?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How are they going to enforce that? That's what I want to know. I'm serious.
They're not going to. Anyway.
How would you enforce? Just that it was.
I don't want to talk about this. Let's move on.
Just that it was blue a valve. How? No, seriously. How would you enforce that? That's what I want. That's a big question. Because what if a lot of people just say no?
Well, they just want to say that, so they sound like they're protecting everybody, and they sound like this righteous hero of ours, like keeping us from this like invisible enemy that's destroying all of us.
I don't know. It's going to be weird. I mean, all I
it's
know
way
is
more nuanced than that.
they can mandate whatever they want. The problem is going to be enforcing it.
Well,
that's
the problem is our economy. Right now, that's a real problem.
We hit records today, right? Is that right, Doug? We hit in the U.S.
as of the recording of this podcast.
Yeah, I believe we hit records as far as death toll in a single day, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so
number one.
Is that what it is?
No, number one in the world.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
What do you know?
We've been number one.
Finally,
in the
we're
world
number one again.
Yeah, no
shit.
In some category,
First
in
place.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a record in deaths, I think, in cases. So I think we're at over 208 as of the recording of the podcast, 280,000 maybe or something like that more.
Yeah.
So hey, look, I tell you, I wish everybody the best. I think
I want everybody to be healthy and safe.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. It's just again, it's frustrating existence right now.
You can't keep using this as a way to curtail.
Yeah.
You can't
No.
just tell
It's-
the side effects of this. I mean, again, I look at my kids and they haven't gone to school for a year.
Oh my god!
And they're stuck inside.
And those heartbreaking pictures of even the schools that are open and trying to
they put like chalk squares.
Yeah, chalk square. They're all like looking at each other, but with masks on, and they're all like super depressed and lonely, and
Yeah.
it's awful.
Yeah, it is awful.
Well, we're transition, but we've been talking about the whole fight thing that happened with Logan Paul or Jake Paul,
Yeah.
and this big argument that there's going to be an opportunity for this boxing and fights that have nothing to do with these
Pro fighters.
Yeah, pro fighters, right? Did you guys see Snoop Dogg?
What's he gonna do?
Snoop Dogg has started his own pro boxing league.
Oh, okay. I thought he was gonna fight. I was like,
Yeah. Google that up, Doug. So
Well, I heard actually Snoop Dogg's a pretty decent athlete. I mean, I actually heard he's thrown punches before.
Snoop Dogg?
I'm not even joking.
he did a football thing. I saw that years.
Well,
back.
yeah, he used to be. I mean, his son's a really good.
Whoever his agent is brilliant. Have you
athlete.
seen? He gets involved. He did a cooking show with somebody.
It's Martha Stewart.
Is that who he did it with?
Dude, him and Martha Stewart, ever since they did the roast, you guys ever watch those roasts on Comedy
Yeah.
Central? So they had really good chemistry, and so he just kept working with
Whoever is managing his business is
The Fight Club, they're calling it.
Yeah.
Wow. It's funny. Snoop Dogg, all these these
He makes moves all the
artists
time,
from
dude.
the 90s, and he's on with Martha Stewart. It's like this guy used to sell drugs
know, dude.
and shoot people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. I mean, you have him, you have Dre, you have some of these guys that.
Well, I mean, Ice Cube, he made a bunch of family movies.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
did I
Well,
mean,
it's awesome.
It is.
Like pull yourself out of all that and make an empire.
No,
You know?
so much respect for someone that's done it like that, bro. And the fact that they continue to reinvent themselves
Mm-hmm.
and do other things besides just what got them famous. I mean,
Yep.
you see Snoop Dogg.
that's a big risk. A fight league, that's a huge one.
You think so?
Yeah, that's a big risk. That's
Well-
tough. That's tough to get people to watch. I mean, I'm imagining he's going to do more of that Logan Paul kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I would absolutely think that, right?
Put on influencer fights, or something like that.
Right. No, I mean it sounds.
So which one of us will represent Mind Pump? Because you know what's going to happen.
I know. Are you going to fight somebody? Who do you want to fight first?
Adam's got the longest reach, so I'll put him in the ring.
I'm not a boxer. I'm a grappler.
I want Sal to fight.
I'll do MMA.
Fight Lewis House.
That-
I feel like that would be a fun matchup to
No,
watch.
man.
I mean,
It'd have to be a cage match.
He's taller. Yeah, no, it's MMA. It's
hey,
not,
dude,
it's
he
not
was
just boxing.
he was a pro arena football player.
That's why I want to see it.
Wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's a handball champion.
Handball
so
champion.
That's why I want to see you guys go.
I mean, I could hurt his feelings. I'm sure I could do that. Really good. I don't know about the fight part.
yeah.
I'm not a fighter. I hate fighting. I really don't like it.
He kisses people.
Yeah.
It's different.
First question is from APAL683. What are some of the craziest fitness myths that you've heard from clients?
Oh, I got one.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
I got one that won't go away, too.
Let me go first. So this was like a thing for a minute. It was like a year or two where this kind of became a thing. So I was training this lady. First time I heard about it, and she goes, my friend lost, I don't know how much weight, 30 pounds or whatever, doing this new diet called the HCG diet.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when this was a thing?
This is still a thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, HCG diet?
I had a sister-in-law who just did this a couple years ago.
Still?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm like,
500 calories, and they run you on HCG.
bro, let me go through this. So she goes HCG. So I'm like, HCG. I'm like, you mean human chorionic gonadotropin or whatever? That's like the human hormone. Women produce it when they're pregnant. That's what the whatever pee sticks or whatever pick up. And
Right.
if you give it to a man, it boosts testosterone. So athletes will take it sometimes to come off of testosterone or whatever. So I'm like, is it this? It can't be that. Like, I don't think they could prescribe that for diet purposes or whatever. Well, sure enough, that's what it was. And she says the HCG makes women lose so much weight or whatever. So she's like, should I do it? I'm like, okay, they're going to inject you with this hormone or this precursor. I don't think it's a good idea. Definitely not. Doesn't sound like a good idea. Let me look at the whole plan. Mm-hmm. So she brings me the plan. It's 500 calories a day.
Yeah.
500 calories a day, and then they inject you with HCG. Look, here's the deal. If you're on 500 calories a day, they can inject you with anything.
And you'll lose weight.
It doesn't matter what it is. They can inject you with, I could put you on the vitamin B12 diet. I could put you on anything I inject you with, 500 calories, you lose weight. So I tried to talk to her about this and said, look, you're going to really hammer your metabolism. You're going to end up losing a lot of muscle. And there's no way you can eat 500 calories to maintain. So when you go back, you're going to gain the weight back. She didn't want to listen to me. She ended up doing it, and I had a lot of damage control to do with her afterwards. But it was a thing there for a second. I'm surprised they're still doing it.
Yeah, no, it's still a thing. Like I said, my sister-in-law was just maybe it's 2 or 3 years now that she came to me, and she was already in the middle of it. Like she was dropping weight, and we were all at like a family event, and everyone was like, "Hey, oh, you look great. How do you doing?" She's like, "Oh, my doctor's got me on this HCG diet." And I'm like, and of course, I peek up. What? Explain to me. Same thing. She explains it to me. That was actually the first I had heard of it. So you heard of it way before I did. And
she gained the weight back.
She, of course, and more. So. And I mean, she was already in the middle of it, so I couldn't get her to stop. And of course, a doctor told her.
Yeah.
So who's her brother-in-law.
That's the part that makes me
upset.
upset.
Yeah, doctor tells her. So of course, I'm not going to win this argument, but I'm explaining to her. I was like, sis, do you really think that you're going to eat 500 calories for the rest of your life? Like, well, no, I just want to get down to this weight. That's what they all say, right?
Yeah.
I just want to get down to this weight and then figure out from there. It's like, no, that's not how your metabolism works. So your metabolism will like, screw me up, and then we'll figure it out from there. That's like what you're doing right now. Is you're going to get used to eating 500 calories, and then when you go back to normal life, and especially this family, I'm like, we drink and eat and we do all these festivities all the time. Like, there's no way. I mean, you crush your weekly intake in one weekend with this family. I was like, there's no way you can sustain off this. So yeah, no, she ended up putting it all back on. So that's a terrible one. Here's another one that I still see this. This is really popular still, is these body wraps.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And the claims that they make, the amount of weight and calories it burns and everything, and it's really just water weight, right? And I didn't know exactly. It's hilarious. I mean, it's like they wrap you in like Saran wrap your entire body, and they sit you on like a massage table, and I think you sit on there for like a good solid hour or whatever.
Or put like a heat suit,
they wrap you in like
I had a few clients
like a cocoon, and it's funny because it's one of those things. This is like how
it's a temporary illusion.
Yeah, exactly.
You definitely look
exactly. That's why it's
thinner.
like it's how easily we are manipulated, and why things that people can feel or see. We're so easily sold on right away, because if you do go, completely suffocate your body for an hour and heat it up like super hot and sweat, 3 pounds or 5 pounds of water out of you, and then you get up and you look at yourself in the mirror. Yeah, you're gonna look smaller. Your clothes will feel, but all you've done is just like leaked out a bunch of water weight. As soon as you go pound a gallon of water at one point, you're gonna put it all right back on, and so
it's very temporary.
Yeah, and they charge big money, and the claims that they make for how many calories that you're burning in and out. Get the hell out of here with that.
Yeah. Another one is even just liposuction. I remember as a trainer, I was young. I was 18, maybe 18, 19, and I was doing this body fat test on this woman. And back in those days, actually, it was the same kind of body fat test we did later on. So it was like bicep, tricep, subscapula, suprailiac crest. So those are the 4 points that you do with the caliper test, right? So the bicep, tricep, that's easy to know where that is. The suprailiac crest, that's right above the hip, and then subscapula, that's below the shoulder blade. So you test all these points, and I remember this woman came in, and she was overweight, and so she did a free body fat test with me. And I tested her bicep fold, and then I went to her tricep fold. And it was very strange because she had more fat on her bicep than she did on her tricep. And that never happens. You store more in your tricep, especially for a woman. And here I am as a kid. I'm 18 years old, and I did this, and I was like, this is very weird, and her arm looks strange. She was overweight, but the tricep was leaning to the bicep. So I sat her down, and we started talking. I said, have you ever had liposuction? And she looked at me like I was some kind of wizard. How did you know? I said, well, I tested your tricep, and your tricep fold was less than your bicep. It looks to me like you got fat sucked out of your tricep. And when you went and gained the weight back, you don't lose the ability to store body fat. You just store it in other places now. So then what ends up happening is you store body fat, and now you have this weird fat storage on your body because it doesn't store it like it naturally would. And she's like, no, that's what happened to me.
People that have sought out liposuction hate to hear this conversation, but I'm like, I'd seen enough clients do it so much. I'm like, honestly, you look better 30 pounds overweight
with normal fat storage,
naturally balanced the way your body genetically is made and designed to store body fat, than to lipo and then put 30 pounds on the body.
It was the same. sort of a thing. Like I used to train a bit of obese clients, like that would come in with a stomach staple, and that was their answer to shedding an extreme amount of weight, because that was, I mean, obviously that was the big pressing issue, was like, we got to get this weight off, and so the doctor would sell them on being able to staple and like shrink the size of their stomach. They could only fit so much in there. They could eat whatever they wanted. So it just seems like, well, I just get full, so I'm going to be good. And then this is, how I'm going to live my life from then on, and I'm going to keep shrinking. And, and the weight definitely came off, and it all went that direction. And I'm just like trying to tell them to, be reasonable about this, like think about building muscle, think about long-term behaviors and habits and things like that. And inevitably, most of them that I've stayed in contact with have gained in spite of the size of their stomach, or had stretched the stomach back to its original size.
Yeah, the worst one that I've ever seen, though, the worst was the tube that was attached to the stomach.
Yeah. We talked about that when we first started Mind Pump.
It's attached to the stomach, and it comes out of your body, and you literally eat, and then you go and empty your stomach into the toilet.
Yeah.
It's bulimia.
It's bulimia. Yeah.
It's bulimia. You're just not throwing it up. You're putting it through a
Medical
tube.
bulimia.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Next question is from Sarah Gottfried. How does aging affect weight gain and metabolism? How much of an impact can resistance training have on this?
So aging does affect both. You tend to lose muscle as you age. Hormones start to change. In men, testosterone starts to decline. Of course, women go through menopause, which is a huge hormonal shift. You lose strength. As a result of the muscle loss, your metabolism starts to slow down. Mm-hmm. Resistance training, how does it affect it? It has a massive impact on all of this. Tremendous impact. In fact, as you age, the impact becomes bigger for your body in the context of your age. And so what I mean by that is, if I were to take two 20-year-olds, one being fit, who exercises every day, and the other one being the typical 20-year-old who doesn't really exercise and just eats whatever, you would definitely notice a difference between the two. Mm-hmm. But if I were to take a 60-year-old, where one of them had been working out for years every single day and eating right, and the other one was the typical 60-year-old, the difference is profound.
Night and day.
Profound. The difference is now one person is fully functional, totally independent, healthy, good vitality and libido, and the other one's ill on medications and has lost mobility. So as you age, resistance training, now you're not going to fight. It's like you can't live forever. You're not going to stop the clock. But boy, do you make a big difference. And in comparison to your peers, the gap gets so big as you age if you maintain a good level of fitness.
I mean, I definitely think that there's declining factors as you age for sure. But if you were to actually like repeat the same patterns of healthy practices, resistance training, eating correctly from your 20s and carry that on a consistent basis all the way up, like I would be surprised to see it dip that much versus, what just inevitably happens over time is we get consumed with other interests or we have a family or we have, business or, we're sitting a lot. Like our patterns is what changes. Yeah. And then our patterns contribute to these declines in hormones and weight gain and things that you see.
Well, not only that, this makes such a difference. And I guarantee you guys have had this, because I've had this tons of times, where I get a client at 40 or 50 who's never worked out before. And I get them training and dieting, and they're with me for a year or two. And then the response I get from them is they are stronger, fitter, and healthier at 50 than they were any other point in their life.
Yep.
So that's how much that can affect you. You guys are talking about, someone who's been training their whole life and comparing a 70-year-old who has and one that hasn't. Yes, but it's so big of a difference as far as reversing aging that you could take somebody who's never trained and then at 40 or 50 put them in the best shape of their life at an advanced age than they were when they were a teenager.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Next question is from Lindsay One Dove. I'm struggling with pain in my toes and arches. How do you best strengthen the feet?
Okay, so there are specific foot exercises that you can do. In fact, we have a lot of them in our MAPS Prime Pro.
We have short foot and piano toes to be specific.
Yeah, those are two easy ones, right? So short foot is flexing your arch.
No, not easy at all.
Easy ones to call it, right. Yeah. So short foot's one where you strengthen your arch. Piano toes is literally articulating your toes like you're playing the piano. But like strengthening anything, it's a slow process. Okay, so what you don't want to do, just like working out the rest of your body, you don't want to jump in and do tons and tons of exercises right out the gates. You want to start very, very slow and be patient with yourself. For example, piano toes, for some people, is so frustrating at first that they literally have no connection to their toes. So you tell them to do piano toes, and all the toes move at the same time.
3 of them at the same time, 2 of them. Yeah, they can't like individually articulate them. It gets frustrating. And so, yeah, definitely take your time with it. Definitely start with just trying to walk around barefoot.
Yeah.
And that's like the easiest way to just like get this going in the right direction. Just to be able to start having that sensation and feel different surfaces. That's all going to provide feedback and get muscles a little bit more involved in the stabilization process that maybe were dormant because of always keeping them confined in this sort of a cast through your shoes. And we're always trying to form things for our feet to be comfortable, to where we're not really like training them to be able to have like more strength and stability, just like you would any other muscle.
So I remember when Dr. Brink really broke me down and enlightened me on how weak my feet were, and that was something that I started to really work on probably 3-4 years ago now, and feel like I've come a long way. But I do remember what that looked like when I first started, and so I first would start with trying to become or be barefoot more often. Right, I was never barefoot really, and I always trained in shoes. And what I'd have to do before I would start training is I would take the lacrosse ball and I would roll the bottom of my feet just to kind of like wake up everything that was like completely. I felt like my foot was like seized up, like that same when she talks about pain in her toes and in the arch in her feet. I had that also, so I couldn't go from training in my shoes my whole life and all of a sudden barefoot training because it would cause these like pain in my arches and in my toes. So the first thing I'd have to do is to kind of roll everything out with the lacrosse ball and then do exercises like short foot and piano toes to just kind of wake everything up. And then after I did that, then I would try and, intermittently train barefoot, which was like once, maybe twice a week. And then got to the point where I'd start doing these walks. And if you've been listening to podcasts for, which I think Lindsay has, so she might remember this. I used to like story this on when I was talking a lot about this 3-4 years ago, where I started to walk my dogs. One of the 2 walks I walked them every day, I walk them barefoot. So that was, for me, that's only like a 10-minute little walk that I would do. And so I just started incorporating more times where I was outside in dirt on ground barefoot, and then also doing the little short foot and piano and then the lacrosse ball. And then it got to a point where that became very consistent into my routine. And then it became where I was always barefoot training. Like I would be barefoot training 3 to 4 times a week. And then starting to do exercises like tippy toe squats, things that would start to really challenge and strengthen my feet. But that first you got to address the connection, the lack of mobility, and just getting used to doing that. Walking on sand is phenomenal. So if you're somewhere where you can get to a beach or a park, walking around on that is really good to help strengthen the feet. But like what I think Sal said is you just got to be careful, or Justin, I don't know who said it, you just got to be careful that if you haven't been training this way or addressing this, you easily can overreach, and then you're going to be sore and toes and arches hurting all the time.
Yeah, one thing to add to the walking patterns, and just starting with that, is to notice where a bit of wear and tear is happening with your foot. So a lot of times you'll see that with like calluses or like you'll just see like where it may be like more pressure that you're applying towards your big toe versus your pinky toe, and trying to sort of be conscious of that and even that out in terms of that triangle of points of pressure, applying pressure. So basically like towards where you tie your shoelace up there versus like your big toe and your pinky, sort of distributing that evenly.
What a great point. One of the things after Brink enlightened me on this, I started to kind of look at the bottoms of my feet more, and I used to, and it's no longer there. So this is like for to give people some hope that deal with this. I had on my left foot, I had them on both feet, but I had it more on my left foot. I had a massive callus that had been there my whole life on the outside of my, on the inside of my big toe of my left foot, because that was always...
You were pressing it there.
Yeah, I was pressing it, so pronating, right? So my heels were collapsing inward, and I was always putting a lot of... And it just had this callus. I've had it my whole life and just thought that's how I was. Yeah. It wasn't until I addressed all this and then I become very aware that my feet were collapsing inward. And so I always try to put emphasis on rotating out. And it started with just the awareness of it. Like, and for me, I know we're talking to a girl here, so this doesn't really apply, but just bear with me. You know, every time I would go pee at my house, I'd be barefoot and I would rock on the outside of my feet because it would be standing still for a few seconds and just getting that understanding what's going on and paying attention to that. And I do that at least 3 to 5 times in a day. And it's just becoming more conscious of how you walk and how you distribute your weight on your feet.
Next question is from Dante Vitt. Is the at-home digital fitness space getting crowded?
No.
Yeah, not even close.
No.
I think it's a huge opportunity, huge market. If you look at the demand for fitness and the way people get access to fitness, and then you look at how many people have access to digital fitness, there's a huge discrepancy. I think the opportunity for digital fitness right now is massive. And it's massive because we have an artificial market pressure and a natural market pressure that is preventing people from going to gyms. The artificial one being many local governments are telling gyms that they have to operate at 20% capacity, 10% capacity, or in some areas, they can't be open at all. And then there's a natural barrier right now or pressure, which is COVID. So a lot of people are afraid of working out with other people. And you also have technology now, which is better than ever. It's easier now to stream workouts. It's easier now to communicate with people online. This is the beginning of a huge potential for growth in the digital space, digital fitness space. I think in 5 or 10 years, it may be much more difficult, but right now is a great time, in my opinion.
I don't even know if it's ever going to get that difficult. I don't think there is enough trainers to service all the people that are out there. I mean, you really don't need as much as you think you do. I mean, if you got a few thousand people, 2,000 to 3,000 people paying you on a monthly reoccurring service and you're providing extreme value to that network, you can be never known. No one will ever know who you are except for those few thousand people, which is not a lot of people at all, in the internet e-commerce world, and be a millionaire.
Yeah, I honestly think it's massively needed. Because think about who's getting the money right now. It's these influencers that have never even had a certification or any kind of fitness background, but they're just looking up to them for their body and all these dumb reasons.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And it's just like, to me, it's really upsetting, but also that to me speaks of a massive opportunity to get more people flooding the market to actually like pull them into a right way of doing it.
There is huge. Okay, so I just did this. I shared an article on my story, and I talked about this. We saw this really early on. We saw bodybuilding.com and Beachbody, 2 leaders in the e-commerce space of digital fitness programming. Right, that's probably 2 of the biggest names that are on the web.
Definitely,
call them the 2 Bs.
Right, and they're doing each one of those companies at this time. I don't think bodybuilding.com is doing billions anymore. At one point, I think they were up there or close to at least hundreds of millions of dollars in total revenue that's going through trafficking through their stuff. For sure, Beachbody, they're 2 billion plus. We saw an opportunity to do the things that they were doing better. I mean, we looked at it and went like, I didn't look at it like, oh my God, they're already selling.
It's saturated.
Yeah, it's so saturated because there's only $20 billion of revenue out there in the fitness space, and they're taking 2 of that, and so-and-so's taking 1 of that, and so there's no room for us. We looked at the people that were making all the money and said, can we provide better service? Can we add more value than these people that are making billions of dollars? And the very quick answer by all of us was like, of course, yes, when we look at the programming, when we look at the content, the information they're providing, and we don't need to get to all, 100 million people they have. We just need to convince a small percentage. We just need to convince 1 to 2% of those people that we have a superior product or piece of content that we can provide for them than what they were doing. So I don't think the space is crowded at all. I think there's a huge opportunity some of the best guests that we have on this show that are like fitness professionals, like our good friends, like the Mike Matthews, the DeFrancos, the Ben Pekulskis, the Paul Checks. A lot of these guys, and Lori Christy King. Like you have a lot of these great people in fitness that that are just making their way into the virtual world, and the virtual world's been dominated by these influencers for like the last decade. So if you're a good trainer and you have good, valuable information, education, and experience, there's tremendous value in this space.
Well, there's also a huge opportunity to reach an untapped market. Every time a new innovation happens in fitness that reaches an untapped market, they explode. I remember in the 90s and early 2000s, there was a company called Curves that opened up these facilities. It was women only. It was this really non-intimidating kind of circuit style workout with pneumatic equipment. And they had reached an audience that had no interest or were intimidated to go to gyms. And the result of that was Curves became the #1 franchise and exploded all over the scene. Now, they didn't succeed, but that's for other reasons. But they took off because they were reaching a segment of the audience of the population that regular gyms didn't. Planet Fitness kind of is doing the same thing. They kind of are reaching people that normally wouldn't go to gyms. There's a huge percentage of people that are interested in improving their health and fitness. They don't want to go to a gym. They don't want to go to workout classes. They don't want to go to see people in person. But they may do it at home. And now with the internet and now with the way we can stream things, they may be available. They may now be a part of the market. So the opportunity right now is massive for digital fitness. It's the best opportunity I've ever seen for digital fitness. It's nowhere near crowded. So if this is something you're interested in doing, take advantage now. This is the right time. Look, Mind Pump is recorded on video as well as audio, so you can come find us on YouTube, Mind Pump Podcast. You can also find all of us on social media. That includes Instagram and now also on Parler. You can find Justin at Mind Pump Justin. You can find me at Mind Pump Sal, Adam at Mind Pump Adam, and Doug at Mind Pump Doug.
Where Sal has built his life around his workout so well that you cannot, and it's funny because he'll come in some days like late because he has a kid now, right? So he's tired and stuff like that. He's like, "Oh my God, I was up all night long." And then I'll look at Justin and be like, "This motherfucker has
He's a little sweaty.
He's got an arm pump." I'm saying, like, you obviously weren't that tired and that late to not